The signs of America's current financial crisis are all around us. Hardly a day goes by that we don't see or read something about this deepening, now global problem. A problem that continues to impact each and every one of us in a very detrimental way.
Persistent high unemployment, declining home values, rampant foreclosures. Couple that with a roller coaster stock market, and it's clear that the Great Recession of 2008 is far from over.
Despite the efforts of the President, the United States Congress, and the Federal Reserve to pump in billions of dollars to shore up this nation's economy, the recession persists. And according to author Pete Goff, Jr., it will continue to persist until we make fundamental changes in how we view the crisis and how we choose to deal with it.
Politicians and everybody else in the world loves to point a finger and say, you did this and you were wrong. Well, we're in a situation where everybody's pointing a finger is actually right, because we were all wrong. We all did a lot of things that we should not have done, but we can't change what we've done. What we do need is solutions to how to get us back on the right track.
In his new book, Solving America's Financial Crisis, How Greed and Deception Buried Our Heads in the Sand, Goff outlines the real causes of the current crisis and lays out a simple-to-understand, step-by-step plan for solving it. A financial consultant and former bank executive and mortgage loan appraiser, Goff has dedicated more than 2 decades of his life working in a very complex and often misunderstood financial world. He says to really understand the current problem, we must understand the principal reasons for its genesis: greed.
The biggest thing that happened was the investment banking industry, which is sophisticated investments that are very risky, literally got into the consumer finance area through commercial banking, mainly through mortgage banking. And once they got in and used those investments and had inflated ratings and put them into, I guess they call them innovative financial products, the key euphemism is they put them into mortgage bonds. Once they put them into bonds and securitized them, they basically destroyed the consumer financial industry.
Why is it so important for banks to continue to lend money?
We need the banks, especially the commercial banks, to lend money to small businesses. We cannot have small businesses with the inability to operate. Oh, it's been proven time and time again. The large majority, somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of all new jobs, are created by small businesses. Without capital to buy inventory, to expand, to pay employees, we're not going to add jobs any other way. A frightening statistic to me when I started doing this book is 20, 30 years ago, 2/3 of all the jobs were in the private sector, and 1/3 was in the public sector. Today, research indicates that over 60%, or at least 60% of jobs are in the public sector. So now you have all these people working for the government. Their budgets are now out of balance, and you're going to continue to see jobs lost because they have to get balanced budgets. And when over half of your workforce is in the government, where's your tax base coming from to basically include the private sector and get the private sector creating jobs?
I know it's hard to do, but can you tell us the one reason, what really caused the financial crisis of 2008?
Well, the fundamental concept is this. Our regulators, especially our Federal Reserve Chairman, Alan Greenspan at the time, had a philosophy of self-correct, self-regulate. What that meant is whenever somebody in the financial world made a mistake and cost billions of dollars, they were just going to fix it themselves, and the other companies would help them regulate and fix it. So that philosophy is what started everything. After the Great Depression, what they found out through all the investigations was they mixed conservative lending, which is what commercial banks are all about, with speculative lending, which is what investment banking is, and insurance. And once they saw that the mixing of those 3 industries caused massive conflicts of interest, they separated them out. They did it through 2 banking acts known as the Glass-Steagall Act of 1933 and confirming the FDIC as a permanent deal in 1935. What we did in 1999 was pass the Graham-Biley-Leach Act that essentially repealed all the remaining provisions of the Glass-Steagall Act. As a result, you now have banks that are offering insurance products. You have insurance companies offering CDs and banking products. Once you took those three industries and combined them, you made a situation to where the conflicts of interest are so inevitable, the concentrations of assets are so massive that once one of them has financial trouble, the idea that they would go down makes everybody think the companies connected with them would go down. And that's where we are today, was repealing that law.
So what do you hope this book accomplishes?
I hope the book gets to where people read it to where it can make a difference in their daily lives. Everything from understanding that we can't spend more money than we make to whenever we give our government a free pass and we don't watch what they're doing, they will absolutely take advantage of us. And that's not limited to either party. Whatever party's in unchecked power, they've always made sure that they took advantage of us to the tune that we've got a debt today that our numbers, nobody even knows what it means. What does 14.3 trillion mean to you?
Goff says the mistakes and missteps that brought us into the current financial crisis were not the product of one political party or another. And he says the solutions are not partisan either. In fact, Goff says his book is neither pro-Democrat nor pro-Republican. Instead, he defines it as pro-American, an effort on his part to help educate Americans about the economic system that made this country great, what's gone wrong with it, and how to return this country to economic stability and greatness. For more information on author Pete Goff and to obtain copies of his book, Solving America's Financial Crisis, go to www.rediscovering.us. Goff says the only way to truly solve America's financial crisis is for each and every American to understand what caused it and recognize the real solutions that will work toward turning things around and put America back on track.